Thanks for tuning in, guys, at the Pest and Lawn Ginja, and this is my updated review of the Chapin Backpack 24-volt sprayer. Let's move over the pros and cons of the Chapin 24-volt rechargeable backpack sprayer. Design-wise, I'm not really super stoked about it. The wand, I do like that it has a brass tip. I do like the fact that it's got a filter here. I do like the fact that it's got a strainer here, and then we have an additional filter on the inside here as well. They really try to go the extra mile to make sure that sediment doesn't pass through here. It's pretty awesome. Now, the dysfunction that I have, the major dysfunction, is that the pump is down below. It's not up top. The other major issue with that is when you do get a line break, having the battery here, this all gets wet and it has problems. So prevention is your biggest friend in this whole process. Other than that, it feels good on the back. The straps are meh. You're only paying somewhere between $129 and $160 depending on where you buy it. So you really can't expect much. It holds up to 4 gallons of liquid. Happy with that. Now, one of the biggest problems that I personally face, if I fill this backpack sprayer above this line right here, I do not get any pressure through the line, and it causes a lot of problems. Now, one of the other issues is depending on how well you tighten these lines here, you can also get back pressure, and you will have to prime the hose line. Now, if for some reason you can't get the liquids coming out of this line through here, you just need to take this off, and you need to put liquid through the hose from the top and get it down through the bottom. So just lift it up. Now, like a lot of you guys out there, I was looking for an inexpensive way to replace my backpack sprayers that was both effective and efficient at spraying for weeds and lawn fertilization. Now, I've been using these Chapin Backpack 24-volt rechargeable backpack sprayers for about going on 3 seasons now. And there's some do's and don'ts with these backpacks. This one here, it's all gummed up, and I want to show you exactly what's going on. Alright, so my backpack's all charged up. Let me show you what happens when I spray. It just kind of comes out and then drizzles. Now, if I turn it off for a little while, and then I turn it back on, I can get it to spritz, but I can't get an even spray out of this thing. I know a lot of you guys this has happened to at home, so let's dig into this. Now, this has happened to me a couple of times, and it's usually because this is a residential backpack sprayer. It is not self-cleaning. It gets gummed up. I haven't done my due diligence on cleaning it out every night. I've really not taken good care of this thing, but I want to open it up and just kind of show you what's going on. Step number 1 in the process is we're going to add about a half a gallon of water into the tank. I've already triple rinsed it out to get any chemical out. Our next step is pretty simple. We're going to turn the backpack sprayer on, and now we're going to try to figure out where it's gummed up at. So we're going to take the wand off by unscrewing this attachment. And then we're going to spray to see if there's debris either in the wand or coming through the handle. So, and as you can see, it's still struggling. So that brings us on to our next step, and we can eliminate the wand being gummed up. So our next step in the process is just to check the filter, see if the filter's clean. And let's see, it looks like we're pretty clean and clear, and just do a visual inspection of down to where that filter connects into. I'm not sure I'm going to get the right camera angle, but it looks clean as a whistle. We are chasing the problem backwards, so next step on the list is to remove the gun and check to see if we have pressure. So we're going to end up turning this on and just seeing what happens. See here, they actually have a filter. So while we're here, we're going to check the inside, check the outside, and it's gummed up Oh, looky there. We've got pressure. So easiest thing you can do is just grab a wire brush, pipe cleaner, get it in there. You don't want to be too abrasive, otherwise you're going to ruin the plastic or ruin the filter. And the reason why this filter is here is so you don't gum up the nozzle of your gun, because that's even harder to clean. So this is actually a pretty okay problem to have. And this is very common. You know, a lot of you guys at home aren't troubleshooting, and these are residential. So if you don't clean them out, this is kind of what happens. But you should be cleaning your filter about every 3rd to 5th use, in my opinion. Sometimes if you're lazy like me, you can go a year without doing it, and this is what happens, but it ends up calcifying and getting really hard to get out. Okay, we put it back together the opposite way that we took it off. Does that make any sense? Okay, let's give it a go. Alrighty, on button. Booyah, we have a consistent spray. Problem solved. Now, maintaining and cleaning that filter is a large percentage of the problems. I'm sure a lot of you guys are sending these Chapin backpack sprayers back just for not checking the filter. There's a couple of things that you want to do right out of the box before you use your Chapin. Let's check it out. Now, before you guys end up going off in the comments, let's all remind ourselves, this is a residential backpack sprayer. It's one of the cheapest on the market. You want something that is going to be more reliable, spend more money. It's that simple. Now, I've been using this for over a year, but there's some preventive measures that you have to take right out of the box. Now, the first thing is you want to tighten the hose line all the way from the pump all the way up the line. For some reason, from the factory, they come loose. Chapin doesn't pay any of these people when you take them back to fix these backpack sprayers. So let me show you real quick how to take this housing off and to fix this simple issue. So we're going to take the battery off so I can kind of show you here, and then we're going to end up taking this housing off and exposing the line underneath here. We're using a 5/32 Allen wrench, and as you can see, the screw is ridiculously long. So we'll see in 10 minutes. Okay, now that we've got this exposed, we actually have 2 hose lines. There's your output hose here, and then your tank into the pump line down here. Now, both these need to be tightened up. You can do that just using a simple flathead screwdriver, and you just want to give it a go. Now, this you need to pay attention to about every month or 2, because once these lines start leaking, they do you a nice solid favor and they get on the electrical, which goes down to the battery, and it ruins everything. And this is part of the dysfunction that I have with the whole design. Now, I lose track. I've bought 4 or 5 of these units, and I will tell you 2 of them right off the bat, we smoked them like dead in the water. Technician came back and said, hey, I can't do anything. The funniest thing is we just had pest control in these. No Essentials Plus, nothing that would possibly gum up. And all it came down to was we overextended it by not doing these preventive care measures. Now, personally, I feel like it's a little ridiculous that these hose clamps aren't tightened from the factory. But I promise you, if your butt is getting soaking wet, this is the problem. There's a couple of issues with this problem, or the hose clamps not being tight. You get back pressure in the pump, then it overextends the pump heats up, the electrical wiring gets wet, and the whole thing just goes out. Now, this is happening to a lot of you. You'd think that Chapin would be smart enough to do this, but a lot of you guys out there, cheapos like me, you're still gonna buy this, so you might as well do this preventive care so you don't have these problems. I've been using this backpack for this one particularly for almost 12 months now. I take the winters off, so it's just sitting there in my garage getting gummed up. But it's fairly reliable if you take the preventive measures. Now, with all this said, I want to show you how well the Chapin backpack sprayer sprays. I've actually been pretty impressed with it, but see for yourself. So the Chapin sprayer is pretty versatile. You can go from a mist, and all you have to do is twist the tip, lot of you guys are familiar with this technique. You get a mid-grade spray, so you go a little bit heavier, or you can open it all the way up, and this might impress some of you guys at home, how far you can really spray. Okay, let's measure that out and see how far it goes. 24-foot spray, guys, out of a Chapin 24-volt backpack sprayer. I mean, this thing will really pump. Now, if we were to spray just directly into the air, well, it's about 15 feet, but it still works really, really well. Up to 12 feet, no problem. Now, in order for a sprayer to be excellent, it needs to be reliable. Is the Chapin sprayer reliable? Well, it is if you're doing your part. If you're tightening up the nuts and bolts, it will spray, and it will spray well. I've done plenty of output tests to make sure that it's spraying at the rate that it's supposed to, and it does until it gets gummed up. Now, at the end of the day, I want to make this clear. You get what you pay for. However, if you're a cheapskate like me, you don't mind doing a little bit of maintenance, the price, it's just so cheap. I know a lot of new sprayers coming out, but they're not $129 to $160. However, the 24-volt backpack sprayer, once it's spraying, it does really, really well. You just have to make sure that all the nuts and bolts are tight. Now, guys, if you guys have any questions or concerns, hit me up in the comments. Love to help you guys out. Until next time, guys, this is Pest and Lawn Ginja. Later.